Social shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, just some social shit for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made this be myself, so hear me. Woo! I mean, like, we can pull that clown shit away. There's some real shit for you. I'm spazzing right now, so listen, let's go. Yeah. It's in their bones, the thugs in harmony for the love of the money. Then fall victim for the cookie, then turn pussy, it's lonely. You said you hold it down when life get rough, we're here now, so show me. We move them losses to them wins. Heavy pounds, we make it ends meet. Converse with only few who make me feel like I be 10 feet.
What's happening, people? We're back in the building, man, guys. Hope you're locked in. Hope you smashed the like already. By the time the intro has finished, people, you need to be smashing that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already. We are on the road to 1,500 subscribers. I don't really do the count thing. Yeah, I don't really do the count thing anymore. But, you know, it'll be good if we can. My goal is before the end of the year, if we can get to 2,000 subscribers. Hopefully we can do that before the end of 2024. So big up everybody, you know, who's already done so. Today, as you guys can of course see on the screen, we're here to talk about Julio Soler. Now, the Argentine youth fullback, this is a player who I don't know nothing about. I've had to do my own research, like literally wasn't anybody who popped up on my radar, wasn't anybody that I had necessarily seen and or, you know, spoken about or anything like that, which is always good because then I get to learn and, you know, really get to do like, you know, these deep dives into, you know, these types of players. But yeah, this is a player who obviously it's seemingly, and again, this is just reported, but I said, you know what, let's take a look at him anyway. Liverpool are reportedly interested in Argentine defender. I think the fee would have been or would be in and around, I think it was, I'm sure I saw 11 million, could be absolutely wrong. But that was one report I did see, was 11 million. Of course, he does play fullback, plays left back. So obviously 19 years of age, we've got two left backs already, you know, at the football club in terms of senior left backs, which is Andrew Robertson and Tsimikas. So I'm assuming if Liverpool were looking at a player like this, it's for the future, of course, because I don't think he's currently a player. He plays for Lanús now. He's not a player I would say anyway, or deemed to be, you know, good enough to start, of course, you know, for Liverpool Football Club. Some of you may not, depending on if you're watching it. You may have already seen him in the Olympics for Argentina. He's played, I think he played 3 games in that. I want to say 4, but I think he's played 3 games in that as well. And I believe he got himself an assist. Yeah, I'm sure it's one assist I think he's got from what I can remember of watching the Olympics, which I found kind of boring, to be honest with you. Anyway, but Argentina knocked out of that competition regardless to France. What the irony, the irony in that, right? But all jokes aside, like I said, this is obviously a fullback that Liverpool are potentially looking at to get for the future. Now, how far into the future that is, I don't know. Of course, with Robertson and Tsimikas, there's a lot of divide with that one. There is a lot of divide, you know, in terms of people thinking that obviously, you know, and myself kind of included, you know, thinking that Robertson has declined is declining, you know, as a player. Tsimikas not necessarily being good enough for a starting spot, you know, in this team. Now, of course, now we're playing on the slot. The kind of switch now has been that some people think anyway that Tsimikas might actually suit the system better, which is very, very interesting to kind of hear, because considering the way that we've always looked at Tsimikas and really the way that, you know, Jurgen Klopp has always looked at Tsimikas, which is you're always going to be back up to Robbo. You're only really stepping in if Robbo can't play, which at first was hardly ever. Then, of course, last season we saw, you know, Tsimikas kind of stepping in. Then he got injured, so Gomez, of course, had to step in for him, which is crazy. But, you know, Tsimikas, I think, when we're looking at just these two in particular, I think with someone like Tsimikas, listen, I like he's calm if you have a already good left back. The problem then obviously lies is that where we didn't have much rotation with Jurgen Klopp, and especially specifically with like Robertson and Tsimikas, where you didn't have much rotation, I don't see how people like expect players to be able to develop. They're going to show you one-off games here and there. Of course, they're going to do that. You know what I mean? It's just one of them things, like whatever ability you do have, you're going to be able to show it in at least one game, you know, in the time that you're here kind of thing. And I feel like that's the kind of case that I saw with Tsimikas. Would I sell? I would sell one of them anyway, guaranteed. But I wouldn't be signing I wouldn't necessarily, unless there's one that I really feel like, yo, and if Soler is the one, then fairs. But unless I knew that there was this effectively generational fullback that I really want to sign, or there's a fullback out there that I'm like, you have to sign this brother, Valentin Barco for Brighton would have been a good choice. But cool. But let's say there's one out there. I would then sell one of these guys, sign both of those left backs. So sign the left back, i.e., let's say you sign Soler, but then also go out and sign a top fullback, or someone, a top fullback that you think can play in your system. Then you're good. Obviously, yes, Simicast might not like it, and if he doesn't like it, then he can go too. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, then you do whatever you need to do, in that kind of situation, in that kind of scenario. But if he's happy, if the manager's willing to rotate, so to speak, or even if Simicast is happy with that role, which I feel like he seemingly is, because it feels like he just likes being at Liverpool. Then I'll go out and get that top fullback, and then unfortunately you got yourself someone like Robbo. Thanks for everything you've done, mate. But it is what it is. So that's kind of maybe the way I would look at it. And again, I don't know how Liverpool are looking at it. These reports might not necessarily be, anything. It might just be, it is what it is. But when we're thinking and talking about the player, what type of a player is he? Again, I didn't know anything about him. It's only been in the last few hours, do you know what I mean, that I've maybe like an hour or two that I've spent just taking a look at him, like all the reports, what people have been saying about him, the compilations. Obviously I remember watching him for Argentina in the Olympics, but he definitely wasn't anybody that stood out to me. I'll say that much. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you watch games, or if you're watching something like the Olympics or Euros or whatever, you're like, who is this guy? I never once thought that. I'll tell you that much. I definitely never once thought that. But either way, again, that doesn't mean he's not poor. That just means that I wasn't paying much attention, to him anyway. So it is. I might have probably have done so if I knew that Liverpool reportedly interested. But if anything, this way also gives a good indication as well. But when we're looking at him, as I said, you can see this is his heat map from. I don't know how the Argentinian league works, but this is from 2024. In terms of where he is, you can see all up and down that left hand side. So you could say potentially, well, like any of our fullbacks, but I would have said like maybe you could say in the kind of mold of like an Andrew Robertson, so to speak. There was someone on X who obviously has been who's kind of given the, would I say, somewhat low down. Again, there's so many different ones. I've just picked this one because I felt like it was just detailed enough in order for all of us to be able to kind of read it and see it. And then we can again take it with a pinch of salt, go out there, read all the reports, check out all of the compilations and stuff like that, and do your own research behind it. Again, I just picked this one solely because it was the most detailed one that I could find on X anyway, so that I can just show you guys just a little bit, so that we can get a little bit, of a bit more of an insight and an info into this kind of player. Because you know what I mean, there's no point us potentially crashing it on a player that we don't know. And maybe we've not seen something, we potentially we could be getting a bit more excited about this kind of player. Maybe we go and watch this player a bit more. I don't know, but at least this way we just have a bit more of a base knowledge. I'm not saying that what I'm going to show you today or whatever is going to give you, all the knowledge in the world, because it ain't gonna happen. But at least it gives us a base level knowledge. From there, you do whatever it is you want to do. But talking about Soler, holder since September 22. Obviously, I had to translate this from Argentinian into thing. Since September 2023, at the Lanús club where he was trained. This small left back, he was born in Paraguay and an under-20 international of Argentina since 2022. Is one of the most promising players in the championship. I'm assuming they meant league. Liveliness, speed, quality of dribbling and crossing, aggressiveness in duels are the characteristics that best define this defender. Capable of playing as well in a four-man defense as in a piston role. Don't know what that means. Where his projection qualities and his left foot work wonders. His small size and lack of power make him vulnerable in the air, but he is an outstanding counter-attacker who brings a lot of danger into his lane and is difficult to pass one-on-one. He has already provided 2 assists this season with his high-quality left foot, as he is also the takeoff set pieces when they are off-center. He is still a young player who has just celebrated his 19th birthday. He must gain in technical accuracy and progress tactically, but he is already firmly established as a starter and should quickly join a more upscale Argentine club. So again, you know what I mean? It seems like, obviously, it said there about maybe he needs to get better technically, which I found kind of interesting. So that's why I said that, and I think that's why, obviously, I'd read this before, but this is why I mentioned about potentially him being in more of that robo mode. Maybe that's something potentially that we're looking at. Again, I don't know. I really don't know. I know a lot of us have spoken. I've definitely spoken about the left back position because I just look at it and think, I don't know why, but that just seems to be a role. It doesn't seem like there's, obviously we don't know yet until Slot, plays whoever in the first game of the season and however that kind of looks. But like right back, you can at least right back, bro. We're literally all fighting to get one of Bradley or Trent to play. Like literally, we're all sitting there saying, "Nah, Trent," or "Nah, let Bradley play, put Trent in midfield, whatever." We're literally fighting. Left back, we ain't fighting. We're like, like, do I have to? Like, it feels like it's that kind of vibe. Like, it literally does, feel like it's that kind of energy over on that left back side. And that's how I feel anyway. But that's the way I've seen it, the general consensus. So, yeah, man, it feels like it's an area for me that I feel like Liverpool do, ultimately need to strengthen. This is obviously just like some stats and stuff from him this season. Again, you could check the stats on like a Sofa Score or FOTMob or whatever you kind of want to. I like the way that they lay out these kind of stats, although the ratings I don't understand. I think me, Ends, and Savage spoke about this not too long ago in regards to how they work things out and stuff like that. But in terms of statistics, I like it. You know what I mean? I'll use it for that. Interceptions per game, he's got 1 every game. He makes 1.6 tackles per game. Wins 0.2 possessions in the final third. He recovers, is it 5.5? Sorry, my eyesight is bad as it is. 6.6. How can I have bad? I've got glasses on. I've got bad eyesight. 6.6 recoveries per game. He's only ever dribble ball 0.6 times. He makes 1.8 clearances per game. So yeah, pretty decent. Yeah, what I mean? I'll be placed for Lannis at the end of the day. So I don't know what I'm realistically expecting statistics wise, but it's for you to see. Make your own judgments from there. 54.6 touches he'll get per game. He creates one big chance. He's created, one big chance this season. Key passes per game 0.9. 83% accurate passes per game. 85% in own half. 70% in opposition half. Only 46% when it comes to accuracy of long balls. Chip passes is 60%, which is funny. And crosses is 0.7 per game, which stands at 21%. Could be, again, I've never watched Lannis play, so it could just be the way that they play. I'm not even going to try and lie and sit here and say, oh yeah, they play this way. I don't know. Again, if you want to go check that out, just make sure you check out. Again, this is just more of a base level information. Unless we sign him, then we can really get into it. Successful dribbles per game 1. Total dribbles 1 per game. You got here 5.3. Ground duels 4.6. Aerial duels 1. 0.8. And then I think the rest, possession, lost, fouls, was I think it was at 0 anyway. So again, statistics wise, yeah, it looks calm. Looks like a decent, it sounds like a decent actual defender in terms of the art of defending. If I'm being totally honest with you, obviously this is an attribute overview. Again, you can see defending is his strongest attribute here at 68, which is actually pretty decent, only 2 of 70, which I see for some more notable players and more notable defenders. Next up, you've then got, I think that's tactics. Can't remember if that's tactics or not. Creativity only at 46 and attacking at 39. So maybe he might be more, as I said, sounds like he's a player who's more in the mold of a Andrew Robertson, if I'm being 100%. That's what it sounds like to me. Anyway, even when I'm like looking here at reading the thing again, liveliness, speed, quality of dribbling and crossing, aggressiveness in duels are the characteristics that best define this defender. Capable of playing as well in a 4-man defense. His small size and lack of power make him vulnerable in the air, but he's an outstanding counter attacker who brings a lot of danger in his lane. Yeah, to me, just sounds like a Robertson regen, you know, so to speak. But again, go and check him out for yourself. He does look like he is comfortable in these 1v1 situations from the compilations that I have seen, you know, of him. Again, he does like to get forward. He's got abundance of energy, etc., etc. So yeah, looks like a somewhat decent player. Obviously, of course, this is just like mini reports. If I'm being totally honest with you, I take these with a pinch of salt. We may never ever hear of this guy ever again. But I thought, you know what, it'd be kind of good to just take a little look into him and see what kind of player, you know, potentially we might be signing. But let me know your thoughts, and let me know if it's not him, and what kind of player would you like Liverpool to sign moving forward? If heck, is left back even an area that you're even concerned about? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'll catch you on the other side. Peace.